Hello, 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 and it's coffee time where we go to the Daymale website and look at the news and see what's going on, see if there is any news. What if one day we went there and it said there was no news? What? Said there was no news. So it's all gone wrong already. First story we've got up is that's Liam Payne. We're not doing more Liam Payne, but what we are doing is Commonwealth leaders warn Keir Starmer it's only a matter of time until Britain bows to demands for up to 18 trillion in slavery reparations. Now again, Keir Starmer, our leader, has said no, there will be no reparations. There was a summit in Samoa. Best place to have a summit, I suppose. But yeah, Sir Keir is attending the gathering of 56 countries along with the King. That's King Chuck. But yeah, he's insisting that reparations are not on the agenda and will not be paid. 18 trillion, that's quite a bit of cash, isn't it? So yeah, I don't think we can afford it. No. Meanwhile, has Ricky Gervais gone too far? He tells risque Jimmy Savile joke. That's his shtick, though, isn't it? This is his new mortality tour. A 63-year-old said he said it's the Jimmy Savile joke is the worst thing he's ever said. No, it isn't. And does it say? It doesn't say what the. This. Just reading the joke, he says Gervais suggests he would never commit any of the crimes committed by Jimmy Savile, which included raping disabled children. He then adds, which in a way makes me worse than him, because at least he gave them a chance. It's funny because it's the comedy of the ridiculous, but you can't, it's a ridiculous thing to say, and it's the shock value of it. And now you don't have to spend all that money going to see him. I've just delivered the joke for you. Yeah, and there's some more jokes that again I don't want to ruin his show. I mean, I've only just been unblocked by Gervais on Twitter. I still don't know how that happened. And here he is. Who remembers when Ricky Gervais had lost all the weight? He's put it back on again. It's all that cheese and wine, isn't it? It's like cheese and wine. So yeah, jokes are funny. That's the problem, and you don't have to like them. I'm not a fan of Frankie Boyle. So I don't watch him. Mind you, he also blocked me on Twitter. So, which just goes to show he searches for his own name. So there we go. What else is there? They're all behind the Mail Plus. They're all behind the Mail Plus paywall. Instant karma. We like some instant karma. We're going to this is Thailand and the Chang Huac Phuac street market. The problem is there's a massive advert in front of this tiny clip. But yeah, this Brit was milling around the food stalls with friends in Chiang Mai when, he decided to have a cigarette. Now the people there said no cigarettes because they use gas canisters to heat their stoves, and he said, but it's my freedom. It's my freedom. So what happened? So there he is. He's arguing with them. So yeah, they decide to throw a bucket of water over him. So that's at least they put out his cigarette. That's the important thing, isn't it? They were complaining. Mind you, who wants to smoke around food preparation? But yeah, this isn't a very good story. But I like the idea of them throwing buckets of water over smokers. That pleases me. Oh God, this is no. This is a great headline, right? Unfortunately, Jeff Capes passed, right? Jeff Capes, he was the world's strongest man a couple of times, Olympian shot putter. Again, one of those names in the 80s that was everywhere, and they've got a picture of him doing his thing. Here he is. Here's a picture of the great Jeff Capes, you know, at the British International Games back in 1974. But the reason we're doing this, one, it's sad that he died. But he aged 75. But the Daily Mail says, you're going to love this, right? Was Jeff Capes' 12,000 calorie a day diet linked to his death? And a 27-stone strongman's devoted wife spent 12 hours a day keeping him fed with a never-ending supply of food and 7 pints of milk. Now, you know, I don't know if he was still on this diet. And I've even done a little infogram. I doubt at 75 he was still in training. Sorry. It could be that he was just 75. People die. And yeah. Sorry. This is more like it. Here he is pulling a truck. There you go. Yeah, I don't think it was. I mean, he got to 75, so that's no mean feat these days. And he was 6'5" as well. So there you go. More Liam Payne news. We have, I guess this is a tribunal. Distinguished academic Dr. Calvert Graham is suing Cambridge University because he missed out on a job interview. Here he is. Right? He didn't get a job interview. Right, and he reckons they're all racist. Right? And in his application, the Cambridge researcher said he'd been impacted by Windrush, a reference to the Caribbean immigration, which it happened in the 50s. Do you remember? And again, it was a scandal because the Home Office, the Foreign Office, and that they messed up the passports, and so people who'd lived here all their lives suddenly found themselves without the paperwork. Again, this is because we're all incompetent. They try to it's just incompetence. But yeah, he accused 4 professors in the job selection committee of a racial bias by not putting him forward for the shortlist for an interview. And he reckons it's because he mentioned that he mentioned Windrush in his application. But an employment tribunal ruled the panel, which had been given training in understanding unconscious and implicit bias, could not have been sure what race Dr. Graham was. And here's the kicker, because you don't have to be black to be affected by Windrush. Oh. And yeah, the tribunal found that the scholar, who they say he was a scholar of some distinction, has simply fallen short of the application. The tribunal in Cambridge heard Dr. Graham, who has dual British and Jamaican nationality, was an outstanding academic, but just wasn't who they were looking for. And so, and here's Cambridge University. He wanted he was an expert in linguistics, and he's employed with the Department of Theoretical and Applied Linguistics at Cambridge. There you go. But no wrong was done. There we go. That's good, isn't it? Judge Tynan, who was overlooking the case, he dismissed his claims of race discrimination. And he said, we think it highly unwise to assume anything about a person's race from the university they attend as an undergraduate. To do so would fail to have regard to racial diversity within academic institutions and the countries and regions from which they draw their students. As regards to Dr. Graham's reference to Black History Month, the study of and research into issues of racial identity are plainly not the exclusive preserve of those who are black or colour or might otherwise identify as BAME. Can't say that anymore. That's banned. That's banned. So there you go. So meanwhile, more court case. We've got another court case here. This is somebody who's on Dragon's Den. Yeah, Nicola Fletcher. She said here she's a Dragon's Den winner. Again, for those of you who aren't in the UK, Dragon's Den. I think in America it's called Shark Tank. It's where investors sit with stroking their money, and various hapless inventors or people who want to flog some tat come in and say, I want £100,000 for 1% equity of my business. And they go, you're fired. Oh no, that's the wrong programme. But you get the idea. But anyway, look, Nicola Fletcher, who has been dubbed the Queen of iViz. I think I've seen her walking around. You know, there's a woman who walks around here. She goes to, obviously she's going to school to collect her kid. She wears a high-vis jacket and she carries a little miniature high-vis jacket for her kid. There's being safe and there's being weird. But anyway, she launched her company EquiSafe in 2010 and in 2015 went to scoop £100,000 after offers by TV Dragons Duncan Bannatyne, that's my Duncan Bannatyne out, and Piers Linney. I don't remember him, but the equestrian designer who's worked for Olympians Charlotte Dujardin and Carl Hester, lost a High Court fight with a fellow fashion horse riding kit manufacturer, Woofwear. Woofwear? That's got to be for dogs, isn't it? A judge said, while Nicola Fletcher's bright yellow riding waistcoat is more attractive than a builder's vest, there's not enough artistic craftsmanship involved in the design to protect it from copyright, from imitations. And here she is, looking at her phone. Yeah, that's not good, that. You fall down a manhole like that. But then she'd have another claim, wouldn't she? So yeah, mind you, there is a dog wearing a high-vis vest here. I want to see the Woofwear. The stories you get on here. I mean, it's very hard to win copyright cases, but yeah. Yeah, so that's it. It's a high-vis waistcoat. That's the story. Okay, let's do this. Let me do this one. This is Father Daniel Doherty. Here he is. He's a priest. Well, you'd have guessed that because he's father. Well, he's in a bit of bother. Thinking, why? What did he do? What's he been up to? Well, the 61-year-old Scottish priest repeatedly kissed and fondled a sleeping train passenger. And when he was approached by rail staff who confronted him, he said, "Don't worry, I'm simply affirming him." Yeah, the father was observed fondling the snoozing railway user in front of a young family after the much younger passenger passed out from too much drinking. The victim later alleged that Father Doherty put his hands inside his trousers. He was affirming him. Or maybe he was just seeing if he was firm. I don't write any of this. I just react to it. It's not my fault. The Daily Mail made me do it. Appearing before County Sheriff Court, Doherty, who's the parish priest at St Francis Xavier Church in Falkirk, admitted 3 counts of sexual assault. Yeah, the court case lasted roughly an hour, and it was described here. Members of the public watched on in shock. In light of the incident and his charging, Father Doherty voluntarily withdrew himself from active ministry and now has been placed on the sex offenders register. And yeah, his actions have prompted a profound apology from the Archdiocese of St Andrews in Edinburgh. It also commended the victim in bravery for coming forward. Yeah, but basically the fella had fallen asleep on the train next to the Father Doty after a day of heavy drinking. Him, not the father. So, awoken suddenly by the clergyman placing his hands down his victim's trousers, the priest grabbed his man meat and did so on a further 3 occasions over the course of the journey. And yeah, they were seated in a carriage with multiple children watching, ranging in ages from 5 to 16 years old. Doherty was also observed kissing the complainer on the face and lips and holding his foot and rubbing it. Yeah. When questioned, he said, "We're just friends. I was affirming him." He was parish priest for St Francis Xavier Church in Falkirk. You might want to avoid this one, but he ain't going to be there now. But anyway, yeah. So yeah, a bit of a scandal there. What is it with these? What is it with these priests? Eh? What is it? What is it with these priests? Meanwhile, police. The police. Come on, Daily Mail website. You can do it. Obviously, it can't. The story is not coming up. There it is. Right, this is the story of an unknown of a police officer named Julie Smith, right? And the PC was caught stealing toilet rolls in a sting by anti-corruption officers, right? And she'd been found guilty of misconduct, right? The misconduct hearing last month heard the officer, who had more than 20 years' experience, claim she only took one roll to clean a spillage in her car in February last year, but doubts were raised over the legitimacy of the spillage because she'd waited several hours before purporting to attend to it and had mentioned it to no one, according to a hearing report. Miss Smith had also concealed a toilet roll on her way to her vehicle, the panel heard. And also, blue paper towels had been available. And here is a stock image of somebody reaching for a toilet roll. It's good, isn't it? And the officer's credibility was further undermined by a later admission that she'd taken 6 toilet rolls over the course of the year. They found that Miss Smith was not a credible witness and ruled her actions amounted to misconduct. So yeah, this is very serious at Leicestershire Police Headquarters. But yeah, no further action, right, is going to be taken because even though there were more thefts, the police said they had nothing to go on. Now, they could have said that if she'd have stolen the toilet, but she'd already retired for the force, so they let it slide. So there you go. I wonder how many toilet rolls she did steal. We'll never know. Meanwhile, one woman was shocked when she'd got one of those bath bombs. Are you familiar with a bath bomb? I think she got it from Lush. It was a Lush connoisseur, and yeah. And when she put it in the bath, it wasn't too, yeah. And look, you wouldn't want to get in that, would you? Looks like somebody's emptied the toilet into the bath. But yeah, one of the worst one is the TNT one, which looks like someone's been murdered. There's blood splashing up the walls, and that's from the Minecraft range, and that leaves the bath looking, yeah, like tomato soup. Never been a fan. So yeah, she's a TikToker who makes videos of bath bombs. Takes all sorts, doesn't it? Takes all sorts. What else have we got? This is. Oh, we know these guys. This is a news story. I used to follow. See you next Tuesday in the gang before he went a little bit mad. You know, they'll become like ideologically driven, don't they? So, but anyway, See You Next Tuesday in the gang wrote a musical called Shannon Matthews the Musical. It is a fine piece of work, and the Daily Mail have found it because a film based on the show is going to be released on all your favourite streamers. Here it is. Trust me, it's rather good. It's rather good. For those of you who don't remember, Shannon Matthews was a young girl, who was fake kidnapped, I guess. Here she is with her mother, Karen, who took part in the fake kidnapping, and they faked her kidnapping to raise money, really. And she was hidden under the bed. And yeah, this musical features such tracks as Shannon Ain't Dead, She's Under Me Bed, You're a Paedophile, and Karen Calls the Maddie Hotline, which is a reference to Madeleine McCann. Yeah, that's out on the 15th of November on Prime Video, iTunes, Google Play, all your favourite streaming services. I listened to, I think it was the soundtrack of it years ago, and I was weeping with laughter. It's his Sgt. Pepper album, and I do recommend it. And now they've done a film version, and again, this is the original. This is one of the original photos. Like I said, they've done a good job in mocking it. That was from back in 2008. God, that was a long time ago. But yeah, Daily Mail saying it's terrible. It's shocking. It's terrible, and given loads of promotion. I didn't know it was coming online. Like I said, because I stopped following because he went a little bit goo goo gaga like they do. Oh well. I like my satirists when they attack everybody. So yeah, check that one out. Yeah, this is a story, AI story. I was reading this to the kids last night. It's the story of Saul Setzer. He was a 9th grader from Orlando, Florida, and here he is with his parents, and I just feel so sorry for them. And he fell in love with a chat AI bot, and unfortunately the teen dispatched himself using his father's gun on February the 28th. And this happened because he fell deeply in love with the chatbot. And when they read the chat logs, it looked like he was driven to do the crime, because the AI tells him to come home to me, and he obviously interpreted that as it's just a shock. I'm just reading what it says. In one of the conversations, he says, I think about, dispatching myself sometimes. And the chatbot asked him, why would you do something like that? And he said, to be free. And the chatbot asked, to be free from what? And he replies, from the world, from myself. And the chatbot says, don't talk like that. I won't let you hurt yourself or leave me. Darn, it's not the postman. And yeah, he just became completely obsessed. He became completely obsessed with the chatbot, and his parents blame it for him doing the deed. And yeah, it's just crazy. Meanwhile, we've got disposable vape story here, because disposable vapes are going to be banned across Britain within a year. And yeah, they reckon that, well, this is how disposable vape use has soared in just 2 years. Look, just soared. Woo! Now that's a percentage of 11 to 17-year-olds. So it's shot up from 7.7% to, well, 69%. 69, the best number. And yeah, they reckon that it's caused all sorts of issues. NHS England said doctors have seen 733% surge in children and teenagers being admitted for vaping-related disorders since 2020. And yeah, they've dealt with lung collapses. Some have had terrible reactions, vomiting green. Was it what they had to describe it? Green muck, green liquid. Yes, and they reckon that the vapes can also make holes in the lungs. So yeah, there's extra risk of lung collapse and respiratory disease. And yeah, and the big problem is they market these. They say that they're not marketed to children, but many of them take on the identity of popular sweet brands, you know. So why can't they just smoke a pipe like we used to do back in the First World War, you know? I mean, this fella, Ewan Fisher, needed an artificial lung to survive and spent 10 weeks in hospital as doctors fought to save him, you know. And Kyla Blight, not Bright, suffered a collapsed lung after vaping the equivalent of 400 cigarettes. I mean, how it was allowed to happen? Again, the e-cigarette was a good idea to get people off of smoking, but it turned into its own thing. God, you know, they're clever. They're clever. The cigarette industry. They adapted, didn't they? Meanwhile, a farmer hogtied trespassers that he found in his field and delivered them to the police station. Here they are. You know what happened, don't you? Yeah, they arrested the farmer. Because you can't do that. It's called kidnapping. Yeah. The 52-year-old farmer strapped two lads, aged 17 and 20, across the front and back of his vehicle before driving them to the cop shop. Instead of quizzing the pair for trespass, they marched him in for question and arrested him for false imprisonment and assault. Exactly. Today, one of the lads revealed the details behind the incident. That's on tied to a quad bike. And as he raced from the farm in Lancashire to a nearby police station on Sunday. Here he is. Imagine that. It must have been terrifying. Leland Hornby said that he and his pal had been riding his electric bike across the fields on the farmer's field on Saturday night, but when they went to leave, they found the farmer had blocked the gates. His mate then decided to leave his bike on the property overnight, where he'd pick up in the morning. But on the return, the bike seemed to have vanished. And Hornby said, as we walked back to the farmer came up behind us, jumped off his quad bike and tackled us to the ground. The pair attempted to outrun the furious farmer, but he managed to capture both of them while pulling their hoods over their heads before tying them to his quad bike. Bloody hell, single-handedly. We couldn't move. I was on the back of the quad bike and my friend on the front. And we were scared of what might happen. But yeah. But when I arrived at the police station, the farmer got arrested instead. Hornby's mother said they were frightened to death. The pair of them could have fallen off the quad bike. Yeah, but many on Facebook have commended the farmer and and said this is great vigilante justice. You can't do that. The farmer was later arrested on suspicion of false imprisonment and assault, but has been released on bail pending further inquiries. So, yeah, we all want to be Charles Bronson, but you can't. Yeah, I reckon there's another story following up on the vape story. Single-use vapes will be banned in the UK by next summer. A shame it won't happen sooner. Meanwhile, Esther Ranson is furious with Wes Streeting. Unfortunately, Esther Ranson, she's a famous UK broadcaster, founder of Childline, is suffering with terminal illness. She's got lung cancer, and yeah, she wants the ability to, euthanize herself. And there's a big debate over it at the moment. And Wes Streeting has come out and said he's the health secretary, Labour health secretary, and he said we can't do it. I can't vote for it because the NHS is in no way able to support euthanasia at this stage. So, yeah. So he's voting against it. She's really angry. Now she says she's going to have to fly to Dignitas and die alone. You don't have to die alone. You can make it a party. Surely you could turn it into a party. I mean, I'm sure if people visit to go with their relatives. Meanwhile, would you put a camera in your toilet? No, this isn't for TikTok. This isn't for OnlyFans. Researchers from, wait for it, I'm going to hold back on the name because the name's the punchline. Researchers have developed a bizarre device that clips onto the side of the bowl and uses AI and a camera to analyse your stools. Ah, half the fun is looking down after you're done, isn't it? But yeah, but you won't have to look at the photos yourself. Instead, you'll receive a breakdown of the shape, size and structure of your waste. The company says monitoring bowel movements can provide valuable insights to digestive health and nutrient absorption and serve as an early warning sign for various conditions. And here it is. It just clips on the side of the bowl like that. I mean, I think it's kind of clever. It's kind of clever if it can do that. And again, there is a lot of health issues you can see. It says a cost-effective, non-invasive way to keep tabs on overall health. I mean, if they could do like a prostate analysis and that with it as well, that'd be amazing. But yeah, but the company believes that tracking your gut health should be as common as tracking your steps, and that's a popular thing. And it comes with a handy app. There you go. Look at that. Fantastic. I might get one. I might get one. Name of the company that's behind all this and done the research: Throne Science, and that's the punchline. That's kind of an animal story. What else have we got? Is there any more funnies? If you need a home, you can get one via Etsy. The tiny portable house by Flexi Homes USA comes in 2 sizes, and you can either get a 20-foot home that has 2 bedrooms or a 40-foot home that has 3. And it's like it's a little flat pack home. Look at that. I know it looks a bit like a prison, but And the good thing is, right, just over £7,000, right? I reckon there's only a few left in stock, and the houses are made of high quality steel to withstand the elements and are fitted with modern insulation. It's a Hika home, and it can be ordered completely customisable to suit your needs with easy transport and quick assembly. And it will be delivered straight to your door in less than 6 weeks. So yeah, get a bit of land and grab one of those. I don't know. I quite like the bathroom's better than ours. Look at that. And like I said, it's fully customisable. So I don't know, missus. I think we should get one of those though. I wonder how many guitars you can fit in it. What else is there? Still looking for animal. Oh, here we go. This is kind of an animal story. Kind of an animal story. oh look, they got Grand Designs last night. Grand Designs viewers slam worst idea ever. It was. Look, if you've been following me for long enough, you'll know that Grand Designs is my favourite TV show of all time. Seen every episode, watched it for 25 years, and last night was perfect. It was one of those episodes where the guy is crazy. It was a Captain Ahab moment where you see complete obsession take over, and the guy completely loses marbles, and it was a shocking expose of madness. And yeah, so do check it out. I thought it was brilliantly bonkers, and you know, you can only feel sorry for his kids. Ah dear. That's kind of a story. There's an animal story. Okay, we've got an animal story. A proper animal story, mind. I can't do that one. We'll do that. Right, okay. We'll wind up now. We'll wind up now. We've got some science news. Scientists in China have managed to revive a pig's brain. One area it was removed from the body. Yeah, scientists in the Guangdong Provincial International Cooperation Base of Science and Technology were able to restore brainwaves considered to represent conscious activity of the brain of a dead pig using a new method. The technique works by incorporating a healthy liver into the artificial life support system, keeping the brain alive. And it's believed that the liver produces backup energy molecules called ketone bodies, which protect the brain from injury. Wow. While the technique has only been used in pigs so far, researchers say it could be used in humans in the near future. And researchers suggest that heart attack patients could be resuscitated by hooking them up to gene-edited pigs' livers. That sounds like science fiction, but there you go. It's just a picture of a pig. So, wow. Science is amazing. Meanwhile, Marks and Spencer's have unveiled a spooky Colin the Caterpillar for Halloween. Ooh, it's spooky. Look at him. Ooh, it's got bones and everything. How cool is that? We do like Colin the Caterpillar over here. Is there a better picture? No, there isn't. But they've got a whole range of Halloween food. But spooky Colin the Caterpillar will set you back for 12 quid. Blimey O'Reilly, that's enough to make your hair stand on end. Meanwhile, Nicola Patterson was devastated when she received a call while she was on holiday in Majorca. The water in Majorca don't taste like wet water. She was with her husband and 2 young children, and she was distraught when she discovered her dog, Phoebe, had gone missing. And this is Phoebe, looking a bit like she's in the doghouse. Well, she was in the doghouse because Phoebe had escaped. She'd escaped, right? Ooh. The Welsh Springer Spaniel, right, had been looked after by a friend in Bean, near Dartford. Oh, we know Bean. It's near Bluewater, isn't it? And apparently she opened the latch on the back gate and escaped. Right? And Nicholas said, I flew home. I didn't sleep all of Tuesday or on Wednesday. I got a really late night flight home for me and my baby. So she headed back. Right? But yeah, there were signs across Kent of the dog, but it appeared Phoebe had crossed over the A12 on a footbridge. Right? And yeah, she managed to close a motorway after. Yeah. On the A2, there was a report of a spaniel on the side of the road, and the road was temporarily closed, and also they had to close the M25 on 8 occasions so they could search for the dog. So this dog was causing everyone a little bit of bother, and so what they thought they'd do, this is the dog on the camera being caught on a camera. They set food down for her, but they couldn't. She was just really elusive. They couldn't catch her. So they finally set up a trap, and I'm going to regret clicking on the video. because, oh God, there's an advert. So yeah, they set a trap for her, and this video footage, when the advert clears, shows Phoebe being captured. They don't even give you the ability to skip anymore. It's not right. Mind you, this is a long piece of footage. It's 1 minute 37, so, you know, I'm surprised they didn't put a 2-minute advert on it. Just, this is the best thing ever, isn't it? Here we go. Here we go. So yeah, here we go. She's, oops. Here she is. She's sniffing the trap. She's sniffing it. Where's she going? Let's skip ahead. Look, she's going in. She's going in. Is she going to trigger it? Oh, it's exciting stuff. She's in. She's in. Go right to the back. Right to the back. Come on, Phoebe. You can do it. I'm just waiting for that trap to close. One more step, Phoebe. Yeah! And there you go. They caught her. There we go. So, she was caught. They managed to capture. And here she is, back home with her owner. Safe and sound after shutting the motorways and everything. So there we go. We limped over the finish line there with that awful advert. Waiting for the advert. Anyway, there's 16 people in. Blimey, that's a party. And with 7 likes. Thank you for the likes. Don't forget, you can slam that like button. Use your face if you have to do it. Andrew says, good day. Now then, indeed. Don't tell your mother. Animal stories. Yes, we have animal stories indeed, but there's no dog cam because she's not in the room. And Clive asks how I'm doing. Yeah, I'm all right. A bit cold today. My little hands are feeling cold. Oh, a little cold. Alex is in. This is afternoon. And Renee's in as well. Blimey, everyone's in. And Dr. Oz is in too. He says afternoon. Alex says it does take all sorts. There was a British girl on this morning who makes nearly 100 grand a year just showing you how to fold towels on YouTube. I wish all the stuff I do, I'm lucky if I make 100 quid a month. You know, it's like, you know. So you can give me money. But yeah, the YouTube algorithm, it's kinder to some people than others. Everyone's saying hello to each other. Andrew says, I'm off to the pub. He's a very rich man if he can drink there. And Renee says, don't drink too much. Yeah, don't want anyone falling over or end up in hospital, all right? And Andrew says, me, Renee, never. And Renee says, good boy. There's a little dialogue going on here. This is almost like the Tuesday night live stream. And Oz says, I wish I could go to the pub, could murder a pint. Well, I've got a sausage sandwich to attend to. And Andrew does a little kind of laughy emoji, indeed. So anyway, be careful out there. Be careful. No falling over, all right? No falling over. Yeah, and that was the news today. Hopefully you enjoyed it. I think the vicar story, the priest story is probably the best story, I think. And the camera in the toilet. I think those are the top stories. And thank you for watching. We'll do this all again soon. That was the news. Killing the channel one video at a time. You know you've got to drink it on. Drink it on. Drink it up. I'm going to be saying prog up soon. Drink it up. Ta-ta.